We are moving past the era of asking an AI a question and waiting for an answer. The interface is becoming a place where actual work is assigned and executed. For years, interacting with AI meant having a short, self-contained conversation. Users are now delegating complex, multi-step operations that the system handles in the background. OpenAI refers to this as Agentic AI. It changes the basic unit of knowledge work. Instead of single interactions, these agents operate independently for minutes or even hours to complete long-horizon tasks. This structure represents the core operational loop of these agents. They orchestrate tool calls and navigate distinct digital environments. They attempt a task, evaluate the result, and iterate on their own until they reach a viable solution. Generating a strategy is no longer the primary hurdle. The competitive advantage lies in an AI's ability to take that strategy and execute it autonomously across an ecosystem of applications. The foundation of this architecture sits on the desktop. Through a system called ChatGPT Work, the AI connects directly to the tools and context where daily work already happens, using plugins. It uses the browser to bring in fresh context, taking steps across web pages to research markets, compare sources, and pull live information. Locally, it integrates with your existing files. The agent can open, read, and refine documents directly within Google Workspace and Microsoft 365. On the desktop app, a feature called Computer Use gives the agent permission to physically navigate the operating system. It executes tasks in the background across apps and tools, clicking, typing, and moving files. Users deploy Computer Use for specific one-time manual tasks or set it up as a scheduled task to automate recurring workflows on a set trigger. The system strictly requires a human in the loop. The agent keeps the project moving forward, but it relies on the user to follow progress, answer questions, and guide the final result. This individual layer turns the personal computer into an active, supervised execution engine rather than a static workspace. Moving up from individual desktop tasks, the scope expands to managing multiple agents at once. This orchestration happens in the Codex app. Codex has evolved from a specialized developer tool into a universal command center. It operates as the primary AI application across OpenAI's own non-technical departments, including legal and recruiting. This diagram illustrates an architecture called work trees. It allows multiple agents to operate simultaneously on the exact same repository without conflicting. Managers organize agents into separate project threads. They monitor workflow, review code diffs, and approve changes before merging them back. At this orchestration layer, the primary challenge for an enterprise is figuring out how human managers can direct and collaborate with parallel agents at scale. The macro organizational level introduces workspace agents. These are shared, Codex-powered entities designed specifically for team deployment. Unlike local desktop agents, workspace agents run entirely in the cloud. They execute complex, long-running workflows and continue operating even when the assigning user goes offline. These agents navigate multi-person workflows by handling shared context and managing decisions and handoffs across different departments. They autonomously gather context from internal systems and strictly adhere to established team processes to keep work moving across various tools. True enterprise scalability relies on an AI's ability to decouple from a single user's hardware and function as a persistent, collaborative entity within the organizational infrastructure. With execution handled autonomously across the cloud and the desktop, organizational control and review become the immediate priority. As intelligence and task execution scale, the real bottleneck to deployment is the management of authority and permissions. Organizational administrators have to meticulously define what specific tools an agent can access and what actions it is allowed to take on its own. This flow of data visualizes permission routing. Sensitive actions, like editing a spreadsheet, sending an external email, or adding a calendar event, are hard-coded to halt the process. They require explicit human authorization before the agent can move forward. The companies that scale effectively will master this governance matrix, balancing autonomous cloud execution with rigorous, documented human checkpointing. The next iteration of ChatGPT operates as a highly governed delegative work surface built to execute enterprise operations at scale.